Welcome, everyone. My name is Mairead Daly Dieppe. I'm quite a new program manager here at WEDC, working with Persephone. So I'm delighted that everyone is here today and welcoming you to the second session of the new R&R for entrepreneurs. That's rejuvenation and resilience is what we're pushing here today in our R&R. So today's topic is creating opportunity out of chaos, and is there a pivot in your future? And this topic came out of the pandemic and, our hopes to find a silver lining. And we have heard that many people are pivoting and actually finding that there is a silver lining for them, and that they've found something new to do to add to what they're already offering. I'd like to introduce Rachel Gatling. I know she doesn't really need much of an introduction to many of you. Rachel is an alum and past instructor of WEDC, so really we're welcoming her back today. And Rachel is a coach at changeyourstory.today, and her coaching focuses on making a shift in your business. So she's the perfect person to present this topic to us today. And with that, I'll hand it over to Rachel, and I look forward to hearing what you have to say.
All right. Thank you so much, Mairead. This is the first time that I'm meeting you. So welcome to WEDC, and it's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard so many good things about you, so no pressure, but I'm excited.
Thanks, Rachel. And I've heard wonderful things about you too.
Thank you. I was very pleased to be asked to address this topic about creating opportunities out of chaos, pivoting in your future. And I look forward to talking to you all today. And make sure that you can see my slide presentation. If there's any issues, please do let me know. Oh, and I have all these nice little, okay. I need to put you all over here to the side a little bit so I can bring these up. Let's talk a little bit about today's agenda. My story is first. Chaos, we're going to define it. We're going to talk about how to pivot. Mairead said talked about pivoting. Is there a pivot in your future? We'll talk about this today. I'm assuming this is why we all joined. We want to be resilient. Evaluating opportunities. We're going to be interactive today. I'm extremely excited. So please make sure you're ready to represent yourself, to speak, to contribute. We can all help each other. Next, we will talk about best practices to follow it up, and then contact us on how to get in contact with me and also with WEDC. We're going to start with my story. And let me go just a little bit to tell you the expectation for today. Please be interested, because this topic is for everyone. I know we are in a pandemic right now, something that's unprecedented. There's a lot going on in the world, but there's always going to be some type of interruption in your schedule. We can never plan it perfectly, so this schedule is for everyone. Be interactive. The best workshops that I've attended and have led have centered around people talking to each other, because I haven't experienced everything, Mairead hasn't experienced everything, but between all of us, we pretty much have, so we can help each other. I will provide a short break about halfway in between so that we can, take care of things we want to take care of. We can breathe, we can stretch, we can stand up. And finally, like someone was saying when we started, please take notes, because there'll be something meaningful for you. Yes, this is being recorded, but then how many times do we say, I'm going to listen to that later, and we don't? But there's something that can come out of this, a word, a phrase, a story that could change you and help pivot you to where you need to be. So please take notes of something that really touches you today. Okay, now back to my story and why I am qualified to teach this subject. First, my background. I'm an entrepreneur. As Mairead said, my company is called Change Your Story. I've been in business since 2014, and I'm a professional development coach. And what this means, because you've heard of all kinds of coaches, life coaches, career coaches, all kinds. And so what I do is teach you the professional skills that you need. I believe in your unique personalities, and I think that's what makes the world go around. But we also have something that we need that's holding us back from moving forward in our professional careers. And that's what I teach. Being comfortable in your unique skill, but then developing other things. Say it's communication, say it is leadership, things like that. And also, like I was introduced in the beginning, if you're stuck in your career, mainly because you're having insecurities about how to approach it, how to really bring your best self to your career. I'm also a WEDC graduate, the spring of 2018, and something I didn't put, but I thought about it later. I'm the president and CEO of the WEDC Fan Club. I love them. I truly believe in what WEDC does, their vision and how they really helped me to become an entrepreneur. I tried back in, yes, I started when I started my company in 2014 because I worked for corporate for quite some time. At one point, my division was closed and I left the company. It's not of my own. So I left the company. That was my chaos and my opportunity to pivot. And I formed my company by asking people. I'd always loved coaching and mentoring. And I said, let me try this professionally. I did this for a little while, but I didn't know how to run my business. I knew how to tell you how to be, how to help you with your career. But could I run a business? No. As a result, I had to go back to work because I had to earn money, because I had to pay my bills. But I found WEDC at a seminar and I took their 60-hour entrepreneur program. I hope Marie will talk about this at the end. If not, I will be sure to do it. And it showed me soup to nuts how to run my business. And as a result, I came back very strong after 2018. I would say with COVID, I'm having the best year of my career. And I only look to moving forward. And so I'm excited about that. I have my business mentor on the phone, Carol, and I'm very excited about the opportunities I've been given, and I look forward to even more. And that started because I had a chaotic situation and I pivoted. So again, that's why I'm passionate about this subject. Again, I was in corporate. I'm still in corporate because I came back in 2018, like I said, but now I'm building a real business, and I've already declared that change your story and changing my story will pivot me away from my corporate job in the sometime in the future. I'm planning for that. I have a steady career progression because I've moved around from being more entry level in sales, and now I'm in senior management, head of supply chain in my company. So I definitely have the business experience, which WEDC also taught me that also helps me to be even more marketable. Being in the business world to get the training and skills that you need can help you in your entrepreneur um, career as well. So don't be turned off because you think you don't have all the relevant experience for your entrepreneur venture. Just partner with the right people. Girl power, something very, very important for me. I started a women's network. I also mentor and I coach. And again, how to be successful being you is my theme. And women, we struggle with it quite a bit. So I make sure that that's something that I have to believe for myself and that I teach others, especially women. And I'm a lifelong learner. I take classes all the time. I read periodicals, I watch seminars, I take classes. I do a lot of learning because that's the only way to stay relevant. And I'm a purposeful networker. I make sure that I do it at least, even with COVID, there's virtual networking, and you'll see even WEDC has classes or forums to encourage that as well. And I find lessons every day, even in behaviors that are not pleasant or adverse, you can still find a lesson on what you should do, how you should act, what should be your next step. That's about my story. And a little more about Change Your Story. Again, established 2014. My mission statement is equipping you with the professional skills to be your personal best by being you. Because something that you should remember about Change Your Story, it's not about changing you, it's about changing the stories that you tell yourself. Not that I can't or I won't or this is in the way, but what do you really need to tell yourself to be successful? I do one-on-one coaching. I do workshops. Now I've started doing workshops every month, which I'm very proud of. And I have a Year of You planner. If you can see, here is the picture of my planner. I developed this back in the end of 2018. And what it does is gives you a year of studying how to be you. What are you thinking about? What drives you? What happens when you do not feel your best? Things like that. So it's part journal and part planner. Again, something I'm very proud of. And my website is changeyourstory.today if you're interested in any of these offerings. Let's get into the agenda for today. Remember, notes, be present, be active, and we'll get started. Let's talk about chaos defined. Now, this picture is very relevant, probably for a lot of people, like what in the world is going on? What am I going to do? So I first looked up chaos, and it is defined as a state of utter confusion. Mayreed, Mayreed, I'm sorry. I cannot see any chats because of how I'm displaying. So if there's anything that you need to interrupt me, if you all have questions in between, please let me know. Okay, defined as a state of utter confusion. What does that mean? So chaos is unexpected. We can't plan for chaos. We may know it's coming, but it's unexpected. It's also unplanned. For example, it could be a loss, for example, a job loss. It could be a people loss, something that really interrupts you. It could be an illness. Talk about today, coronavirus. Coronavirus is in the form of an illness. If there's something that you have or someone that you love gets the coronavirus, but also it's put the world in utter confusion or chaos as well. But I saw something else when I looked at chaos. I tried to look at the positive side of things or at
Yeah.
least the opportunity. Hello? I think someone needs to mute.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, we good? All right. Chaos is also, when I looked at another side, it can also be defined as gain because it's unexpected and unplanned. That doesn't necessarily have to be something that is lost. It can be a gain. And I found another definition. There's a lot of definitions of chaos. Please go and look it up in some time that you allocate to do that. Chaos can also be a state of things in which chance is supreme. This is very loaded as a definition. A state of things in which chance is supreme. I put those words into Google, chance and supreme, and actually I saw this said the North Carolina lottery. It said a supreme chance to win. Please enter for a supreme chance to win. So it let me know that chaos or jumbling or unexpected or unplanned doesn't necessarily have to mean something bad, but it could also mean things that are good. I was talking to a colleague of mine this morning and I said, what if you got 10 new contracts in one day? She says, I'll take it, which is true. However, that's chaotic because you're saying, how can I handle this? Like, what if I got 10 new clients in one day? I'm like, oh my goodness, I'll take it. But how would I handle that? I need to make sure that I am either ready or getting myself ready. In other words, chaos can be an opportunity. So I want you to really look at the fact that we have been put into a state right now of chaos, right? Because it was unexpected and unplanned. But we can also, like the title says, be resilient, like the title of the workshop, and we could actually maximize the chaos and turn it into an opportunity for chance, which can result in being something that is supreme. What do you think about that? All right. How to pivot, how to shift when we say things are not turning out for the best. Like I was sharing with you, back in 2014, when I lost my job that I had been for multiple years, I had grown in that job. I say I grew up there. And I moved around to 4 different states for that job. So now it was time for me not to sulk, maybe for a second, because I'm human, right? So I said, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? But then it was time to pivot. The first thing I say is, I have victim, but I struck through that. We can't be a victim. We can't say that everything is beyond our control because it is not. We do have a choice in how we handle it. We have a choice in just the decisions that we make. We have a choice in how we handle those particular chaotic situations. I would recommend journaling. I read somewhere that the way to really clear your head and get things out and actually bring peace and less stress to your life is to journal, put things on paper, and don't edit yourself, which I actually have adopted. And I love journals. I love beautiful journals. So I'll buy something nice and then I take pleasure in writing it. And actually, I've invested in these nice pens, maybe not as much as some would, but I did invest in some nice pens so I can feel like it's an event when I journal because I want to be honest with how am I feeling right now. But what I also find is when I look back at some of the entries that I made, my next career choice or my a resolution may have come to life in those journals because sometimes it's easy to write, but then harder to live it. So when I come back and say, what did I put on this piece of paper? It kind of gives me a little twinge on how to move forward. It gives me a little bit of a hint. So journaling is exceptional. You'll find many articles out there that talk about the advantage of writing. The next one is to become a student. By becoming a student, the first thing I say is learn your biography. I love reading. I've always loved reading. And I love reading people's biographies, especially people who are successful, people who are notorious, things like that. But how much do we know about our biography? Last year or 2 years ago, I was reading something called Enneagram. It is a personality test. You may have heard of Myers-Briggs and DISC and others. But there's one called Enneagram, which really piques my interest, and I've read two books about that to date. And I was prompted putting together this presentation. I'm prompted to read it again. But what it talks about is, yes, there's ways that you're strong. You definitely have strengths. Everyone does. And I always encourage you to learn more about yourself than any other person, because that way you know how to pivot, right? You know what you do well, you know what you don't do well. But I digress. When I read about Enneagram and I studied it, it talked about what you do well, but it talks about something called below the line. When you go below the line, meaning that you're not your best self. Okay, I'm hearing feedback again.
Yes, can I just remind everyone to mute your microphones, please? We're having a lot of feedback.
Yeah, most people are not muted. I see some that are muted.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So Enneagram talks about below the line. What that means is we all have a certain behavior when we go below the line. So we may feel threatened or something comes at us that we're not expecting. So chaotic situations. And below the line, our behavior may be, we might be angry, we might lash out, we might be defensive, we might retreat. There's certain things that we do. And what I liked about below the line or learning about my below the line behavior is that when I notice that it comes, then I can change that. I can pivot. So say if I run, and it says actually with mine, in full disclosure, it says with my personality, I tend to retreat when things get difficult. So I had to really think about that. And of course, I journaled it and said, when do I do that? And I had to think about myself in different adverse situations. Once I did, I saw that I can be like, I might get to the point where I don't answer the phone or I say, I don't want to talk to you right now. But then I had to make a promise with myself that if it was that impactful, I had to face it. I wanted to change that about myself. I wanted to change my story because if I retreat, then I won't get opportunities. And say, since I told you chaos is positive, is negative, but it can also be positive. Say I got those 10 clients in one day, then I might retreat and not take any of them. Will be scared to death, right? Then I knew that was not a good behavior for me. But I would not have known. And it's not that you should be perfect. No one's perfect. But there are certain things that you need to make sure that you strengthen in order to be successful. And so for me, I could not retreat. I had to stop and maybe I needed more thinking time. Really evaluate this and come back strong, but don't retreat. So I encourage you to become a student, learning more about yourself. How do you feel about this situation that's happening to you right now? What's going through your mind and why? I love how kids say why. It's aggravating, but it's helpful because you get to the bottom of it. I know in the supply chain world, not just in supply chain, but we do it a lot. We call it 5 times why, and that's a lean concept because if you say, hey, my refrigerator, for example, I'm looking at my refrigerator is making noise. Why? Uh, because it's been why it's been knocking like that for all day, and it does it when I open it too long. Well, then why are you opening it too long? Well, because it's icing over. Well, why is it icing over? And as you can see, you start these things and you get to the bottom of maybe you need to call the repairman. It sounds basic, but a lot of things can be handled by why. Why am I upset about this? Why am I angry that COVID happened? Why? Because it interrupted my job. Well, why did it interrupt your job? Because I don't have a job that I can do during times of virtually. Well, why don't you have a job that you can do virtually? Well, because that wasn't my career path. So you can go and you don't have to make it 5 times, but it could be 3, because then that could lead you to saying, well, wait, I may be able to resolve this. If I don't have something that can be done virtually, is there something else in your head that can be? And we're going to talk about that a little bit more when we go to our interactive exercise. But again, learning about yourself. We know many things. Someone posted something, and I say posting, I don't even know it was posting back then, when the Oprah Winfrey Show was very popular. I took a class, and the woman encouraged us. She said, instead of on studying Oprah or talking about Oprah all day, why don't you learn more about yourself? What do you like to do? You're making all these people rich. What about you? And I absolutely love that. Now, I loved Oprah, and I still do, and loved her show. But you're sitting there watching programs and these shows. Yes, you can watch them for learning opportunities, but turn that television off and start talking about your business and your career and learning about that, studying skills that will make you stronger. Okay. The next one is, yes, when you become a student, and I've talked about that, your strengths, your accomplishments, your skills, your experiences. Write about those things. What are you most proud of? Every day, at the end of the day, I do it in my phone. I've gotten caught up with the phone like a lot of people, and I write down 3 things I think went well today. I don't write what did I don't record what did not go well, because then I'll focus on that. But I wanted to know what went well that day. So today or tonight, I'm going to write my workshop with Wetsy, because this particular subject makes me feel good about how I was able to be resilient. I feel very positive. Like I said, I love Wetsy. So this is for me a true accomplishment, and it's something I'm going to say went well. And you'll need that in times of uncertainty, in times when things really do go wrong. You want to study and go back and reflect on things that actually went right. Because guess what? I want to duplicate this type of thing. And I mentioned it before with why, but take a child's perspective. So to expand on that, children are very opportunistic, and they are curious, and they see possibilities where we may see something negative. They don't understand why things don't work. Like when kids don't understand now it's coronavirus, they're like, well, okay, you're home, so how can I maximize you being home? Maybe I can get some more treats today, right? So there's different things that you can see when you take that curious, possibilities, open mindset of a child. So again, become a student. This one is very important. Evaluate and change, if necessary, your network. Who are you talking to? One of my clients talked about being around people who are negative and being around people who do not have the growth mindset that she has. So it can put you into a more negative place. It can make you feel, am I alone? But also, I find that, and actually, I heard this 20 some years ago. It said a negative person can bring you down faster than a positive person can bring you up. And I will say that again. A negative person can bring you down faster than a positive person can bring you up. And that's pretty sad, because you would hope that you would be more responsive to positivity. But negativity is huge, is so impactful. I remember reading in a book, can't remember the book right now, but it talked about planting good soil beside weeds. And then when it was time for growth season, the weeds overtook the good flowers. And you all know this, if you do any type of gardening or cutting grass, that the weeds can take over very fast and kill all the time and effort that you put into making good crops. Take this very seriously. You'll need your friends that you can be mindless with, because you need that, right? You'll need to say, okay, right now I don't want to focus. Let's have a good time. But you also need in your network people who are positive, people who encourage you, people who listen. I also read this book, The Little Black Book of Success, and they talked about having a board of directors. And I absolutely love that concept. People who are surrounding you that lift you up, people who are positive, people that you can go to discuss ideas, people who will pick it apart because everyone shouldn't agree with you. Somebody should say, that may not be a good idea, but not in malice. And also, you need to be particular as you listen to them. What's their motivation? Are they saying it out of jealousy? Are they saying it because maybe they don't know? Or are they really interested in saying, tell me more? I really want to talk about this. That may not work, but hey, let's whiteboard it. Let's talk about it. Let's really explore this for you. That's what you need. People who are talking about business, people who are talking about positivity, people who are in your corner. So yes, the friend that you can say, okay, look, I don't pick me apart. I just want to tell you what happened today. I know I was wrong. I got to tell you what happened today. And they'll listen. And someone says, you know, you're wrong. Let's try this again. Just your board of directors and your network should be so incredibly strong that even on your worst day, you're able to call someone and get the support that you need. And I don't think that's unreasonable because there's people out there that are looking for that type of network. And if you don't have it, change it. And it's definitely if you have someone who is really down on you, it could be bordering on abusive. You know, your ideas, your worth, then really change that. Now, let me go a little bit further with this one before I move to the last one or the next one. It could be your family because I've had this come up before. And if it is your family, you just have to temper the things that you say. I once read where, you know, you can't share your dream with everyone, and you know that. And sometimes, unfortunately, it's your family. When you have a goal, you may need to plan that goal out, write your journal, go after it, and seek it. But maybe it's not the right thing to just discuss with everyone, including people who are closest to you in relation, because you don't want your dream to die. You don't want to have that regret. And, you know, for me, I made a pact with myself, a commitment to coming out of COVID better than I went in. And that's the way that you do it, to really put your head down, get to yourself and around the positive people and really focus. Next is to seek the experts. That's why I love Wedsy. Like I said, my first business, my venture into business didn't go well. And so when I found Wedsy, I was extremely excited. They did a lot in terms of listening to my idea to determine if it was viable, because that's going to be important, and then encouraging me and giving me the skills to make me able to be successful. And there's many things out here, people like experts in their fields, there's networking opportunities, there's sponsorship opportunities that you can seek out as well. I recently spoke to someone who was able to get a sponsor who was a pretty impactful person in their field. Why? Because they reached out to him. They went on they contacted him through email and they said, listen, I need to learn from you. And now they are learning from him once a month, scheduling sessions. And I'm like, wow, you know, this is a real estate person. People are willing to help, again, staying in that positive space. If you're not in the positive space, you may not even think about doing something like that, but it doesn't hurt. All they can say is no or ignore you, and you haven't lost anything, but you would be surprised at the people who actually do want to help. Any questions so far? I'm talking a lot. I said I wouldn't talk so much. I'm talking a lot. Okay. Let's talk about a little more. Oh, yes.
Sorry. Can you just expand a little bit on sponsorship when it comes to us having our own jobs? Can you give another example?
Another example of sponsorship? Yes.
I mean, I'm not our own jobs, but our own business.
Yep.
And
No, go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you cut me off. I mean, I thought I cut you off. So yes, sponsorship. So you have mentors, right? Mentors are people that will work alongside you you can bounce ideas off of. You can, they can partner with you for sure, share business ideas. Sponsorships are a little bit more where they could actually introduce you to the right people. They create that path for you and let you meet people that you would not have met if you did not know them. And which is nice. And you should have both sponsors and mentors. And you have them in your career, you should. And you should also have them in your business. because those are people who have already paved the way, or they've been there and they're paving the way for you, and they look forward to going back and helping. And that's how it should be. When you have a business, you should want to go back and help other people, and there are more people that want to do that than not. So what I mean by that is say, I know LinkedIn is a wonderful resource. Actually, it's funny, in preparation for this workshop, I went and found a group in LinkedIn that talked about forming businesses during times of uncertainty in the world, like financial uncertainty. I'll get the group's name down really packed by the end of the seminar, and I'll actually send it out in the notes. But those are people, when you see people who are experts in their field, for example, yes, LinkedIn, or if you see Google real estate experts, things like that, a lot of them will have their contact information. And what you can do, and they also may have programs, some paid, maybe some are unpaid. Either you can study them in terms of their experiences and their lessons, but you can also try and reach out to them and say, hi, my name is, and my business, I wish to aspire, and I really admire what you're doing. Would you be interested in, you could start with mentoring and say, mentoring me, or leading me to someone who could be a mentor to me so that I can be successful. It's one thing. And then again, maybe they respond, hopefully, maybe not. But if you broaden your network to look for people who are in your industry and leaders, that would be helpful. I also find that your local group sponsors can do that as well. So for example, if I go to WEDC, and which I have, and I can have appointments with some of the people at WEDC. Like I know Persephone was on before, and I've spoken to her. Some of the developers of the program and directors, and ask them, hey, I need to talk to you. I need someone to really help me. And ask them, can you please introduce me to more people in this field to be that can help me. I've also gone at one point to the county, because I know that WEDC is also a sponsored organization. So go to organizations that are connected as well and just ask for, hey, I need a business mentor. Does that answer your question?
Yes, that was
Okay.
excellent. Thank
Okay,
you.
great. If I don't, please keep me going, because I really believe in this and I know that there's help. What happens is we sit back and we don't know. So we kind of talk to the same people, but there's people in your field that are experts that are willing to help. So yes, Google, LinkedIn, our local organizations, to say, I really need someone that will partner with me and help me in my business. I absolutely love helping people to do. That's why my coaching, I take such pride in my coaching. And that's why I said, eventually, that will be what I am solely doing. And actually, I've expanded to several programs because I want to make sure that I help people that are struggling with starting their businesses or had setbacks just like I did. Okay.
And I'd just like to add to that, Rachel,
Yes,
that
please.
yeah, you mentioned that WEDC can help with counselors, and we can also connect you to Business Mentor New York, which is a program that is set up by the state to help people to find mentors. So that is something that you can access through WEDC. So reach out to us about that.
I told you WEDC was great. Business Mentor New York. Is that New York spelled out or NY?
For the website, I believe it might be NY.
Okay, that's all right. We'll find it, right? Thank you so much. And yes, reach
I'll
out to
put
me.
it in the chat.
That would be great. Thank you so
Okay.
much. More pivoting. Oh, wait, I think I see some questions coming through. I can see now. I couldn't see before. Oh, we have Hannah saying the Chamber of Commerce can help with their SCORE program. Great. And actually, yeah. How do I get a mentor? Answers mentor questions 2. Myrna, you want to expand on what you were asking here?
Yes, I was asking, could you tell us how to get a mentor? And then as you continue to explain, I said you answered the mentor question too.
Okay,
So
great.
thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, now let's talk about more pivoting. Change something. We are not all just our jobs in our careers. It's hard to remember that sometimes, especially for me, because I work a lot, but we need to change something. And when we do, it kind of helps our mind to shift as well. So we're stuck in the old habits, right? At first, we're going to work, working hard. We have our business, whatever we're doing. And even with your business, you can get a little stale. And then COVID happens. So we're all in a different area a different area in our lives, even though you may have two people who seemingly are doing the same, like they lost business because of COVID, but you still are not exactly the same. But we're doing this and we're getting caught up in some, maybe sometimes it's a little humdrum in our routine. So when I say change something, do something different. If you walk in the morning, maybe walk in the evening. If you don't walk at all, maybe take a walk during the day. Take up a new hobby. I bought a new puzzle. I bought a puzzle, and not a new puzzle. I haven't done a puzzle in years. And I'm putting it together in a certain section so I can kind of clear my head. So I do that, take up something new, something you want to do, not something that you think you have to do, but something new. I actually have reading here. That's why I said new genre. So say you read self-help all the time, because I have a lot of those books here too, but read a romance, right? Read something like science fiction, something different. Take a new course. This is really important. Actually, you know what? I went on a site and I took a course called Learning to Learn, learning how to learn, something like that. And I'm like, oh, this is different. You can take something fun, you can take something educational, and also clear clutter. I remember, what was it? I think it was Oprah who said, your house, your space should rise up to meet you. And if you have, say, a cluttered house, is the symbol of a cluttered mind. That can be true, I don't know, but clear clutter, because that will help you. So if you're working in a cluttered space, clear that out, make things more fresh. You know, these things put you in a positive mindset. So that's a way to pivot, not just thinking about your career, but thinking about your environment, thinking about yourself. And you never know, that may lead to something that is life changing in your career, your business. So think about that. Now, this is something that I talk about in my planner slash journal, an accomplishment board. Now, you've heard about vision boards, and I don't down vision boards, but what I do find that most people do is they put a picture of someone with a perfect body, money, cars, houses, the same thing. And here's the thing, if I live in a one bedroom apartment, which I do in New York, but I put a picture of a mansion, then all I'm going to do when I look at that is think, okay, I want that, but I know how my personality is. I studied myself all the time. I would think I'm so far from that mansion right now. But why don't I put up things that I have accomplished? And this is what I talk about. It makes me feel better about myself. I'm not poo-pooing the vision board, but I think I really believe in this. Not think, I truly believe in an accomplishment board. Put what you accomplished. I should put a picture of this workshop. I should put a picture of something that I created. I should put a picture of the fact that, or even my page. When I told you I make those three list of things that I accomplished for the day or what went well, I should put a picture of that on a board. And actually, I suggest doing it monthly. I always take that, and it's in my planner too. Make your accomplishment board monthly, because then you'll say, wow, wait, I am doing some things. And it also helps you if you're not doing something, then maybe soul search and say, wait, am I not giving myself credit, or do I need to? Maybe I'm not going after my goals. Maybe I need to make that phone call. Maybe I need to sign up with WEDC and then make a picture of WEDC's logo. That's going to be important for you, because what I also find is when times are really hard and you doubt yourself, you go back to that accomplishment board or accomplishment boards. Actually, in my book, I stated quarterly. Quarterly or twice a year, but actually I say monthly, but then I say post something bigger twice a year, so that way you can really see, this is what I've done, if you feel like monthly is too much. But when you go back to times that are bad for you and you're feeling low, or you get into your negative space, then looking at that is going to give you confidence. You'll say, I did that. So maybe I didn't have that mansion house, but maybe what I did is I moved from my one bedroom to a two bedroom, right? Now I'm in New York, so one bedroom, I swear, is like the mansion it seems. But I can then say, hey, I did this to this. So I know I can do step 3 because I accomplished step 2. And I did that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that someone gave it to you or whatever. This was something that you were able to do, so you know you can do something else. I said it before to study yourself, and I'm saying it again. Can you tell that I really believe in this? Study yourself, but also appreciate yourself. Appreciate your strengths. And that's why I said on one of the previous slides, learn your strengths and your accomplishments. If you're good at speaking, note that. If you're inquisitive, if you're analytical, please note that because you need to appreciate the skills that you have to offer. There's so many times that we look at the negative and we notice all of those things like, oh my gosh, I froze that day, or I didn't have the right information, and you harp on that. That's why in the evenings I don't write what didn't go well because I need to duplicate what did go well. And I know I can change what I said about the garden with the negativity taking over the positivity, because if I keep feeding that positive, 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 I start chopping down that negative. So appreciate what you have to offer, what you have, and what's going on in your life that goes well. Again, like I said in the beginning, opportunity, see opportunity. Be kind to yourself. Now, I suffered from migraines for many, many years, and I finally found someone who she approached it very differently. As a matter of fact, it's funny, she pivoted. She was in IT. So she was in IT until she was about 40, and then she went to medical school, Harvard Medical School at 40 years old, and she became a doctor that only specialized in migraines and ADHD. So she pivoted and she said she was in college with all those students who were like half her age, but she learned by things like meditation and things to make herself strong and to make sure she remembered different things to make her graduate and do very well in school, in medical school. But she gave me, when I went to her, she didn't just do the standard give you medication. She gave me a lot of she did physical therapy. And I'm like, what in the world is this for? Physical therapy for migraines? That makes no sense. So I went to see this woman who gave me a massage, but it wasn't a real like massage. She kind of just touched my shoulders and my head. And she just said, be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself. Think good thoughts. And that's all she did. And I'm going to tell you, it was a succession. It wasn't just one thing, but through a succession of things like that, I started feeling better. And I know that this lesson was not lost on me. Remember, I said I'm a lifelong learner. This told me that being bad to yourself doesn't help. When I say, oh my goodness, I missed that again. Oh my goodness, I'm so down. Oh my goodness, what's going on in the world? But what I did say, or I failed at this, or I'm not doing this, or I need to do this. But what about being kind to myself? And I will tell you that advice in that conversation we just talked about getting a sponsor and a mentor, that's being kind to yourself. It is, because you're saying, I'm worth it to build up my business. I am worth someone helping me and teaching me what they knew because someone taught them. I don't think we understand that. Someone taught them. So I want someone to teach me. I want to be successful. I will put in the time and the effort because I deserve to be happy and I deserve to have that idea that's in my head to come to fruition. And I want to be good and I want to accomplish this because I want to do good in the world. I want to provide for my family. I want to use the skills that I was given to be successful. Be kind to yourself. Lean on your foundation. Now, this could account for it means different things to different people. I always think about faith, if faith is your foundation, because then you know that's where your strength comes from. Some people do with family. Some people, their foundation is their network. Whatever that is, please lean into that. When times come and they're adverse, it's not the time to abandon your foundation. And some people do, again, that below the line is very, very important to understand because maybe when times are hard, you isolate yourself from everyone and you say, I can't handle this. It makes sense at first that you would say, okay, this is hard, but then no, wait, I'm doing it again because you're not perfect. I'm doing it again. And maybe you tell people, you know what, this is not a good day for me, but I need to address this as a positive manner. So lean on your foundation. Faith is your foundation. Go back to your faith and say, I really need to move forward. How can I move forward? And listen and study. There's a quote I like by Napoleon Hill, the author of Think and Grow Rich, and I like that because it starts in the mind. It's a very popular and good book. Every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. And I know you all can read, but I want to read that again. Every adversity has the seed of an equivalent or greater benefit. Again, from when we read before, when things are chaotic, right? They're out of control. They're not planned. What in the world is going on? There is the opportunity for something to turn out well from that situation. And what I would invite you to do right now for just 30 seconds is just think about a time when things were not going well, something hit you and you said, what in the world happened? But on the other side was something that was positive. Something positive came out of something that at first seemed negative. I'm going to give you 30 seconds for that. All righty. I didn't count, but I think it's 30 seconds. So right now it is 12:52. I would like to get any questions you have up to this point, and then I'd like to take a small break and then come back because I want us to do an interactive exercise. So I need you all fresh and your attention. If you got to do your bio break, we can do that at that time. Any questions right now? Okay. All right. So let's take a break until 1. Mairead, is that okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll take a break, we'll come back, and then we'll start talking about interactive exercises where I would like all of you to participate. Thank you. So it's no pressure, but it would be nice that we all learn from each other. Thank you.
I would just ask that nobody actually exit in case you have difficulty getting back in.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
Yeah, just, you can just mute and stop your video and then come back.
That's a
Thank
great
you.
point. All right. Thank you. 1 o'clock, or wherever you are, 7 minutes, you might be in a different time zone. Okay, everyone, and let's do it. Oh, how did I lose my screen? Hold on. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can
Okay.
see it.
Okay, good. All right, we're going to do a few interactive exercises, some examples, and like I said in the beginning, let's help each other. The first one, I don't know why it keeps leaving me. Okay, the first one. Oh, all right. You have a great business idea and have identified a need. However, You have a full-time job and small children. Should you pursue? Great business idea and a need, but you are busy. Full-time job, small children. What should you do?
Rachel, actually not seeing your screen now. How about
No?
everyone else?
No? Oh, hold on. That's not nice. Okay, what about now?
There you go.
All right. Okay, great. All right. So I would like to talk about this. So I would like you to unmute and yeah, great business idea. Don't be shy. I know some of you on the phone, we don't have shy people. Come on.
This is Myrna, Rachel.
Hi, Myrna.
Hi, everyone. So I think my answer would be yes, but it wouldn't just be yes. I would need to have a plan. And so I would look to you to kind of help guide that plan. But I think when you have a great idea, after you kind of look into it to see if it's viable as far as being profitable, and profit could mean meeting the needs of your clients, or it could be a financial profit. Once you believe that, or you have data to support that, then I think you have to take steps in order to make it come alive. I think we're always, especially as women, will always be busy, but it's how we prioritize. So we may need help through our mentor or through sponsorship to help us in that area.
Okay. Thank you, Myrna. So basically, you're saying making sure your idea is viable, you would move forward, but making sure that it's just not just something, but that it's a real business idea and it can be successful before you dive into it. Okay. Anybody else? Don't be shy. You have any questions about it? Any thoughts? Like you don't have to answer, but maybe you have thoughts about it. Has anybody in
Rachel,
this? Go ahead.
while everyone's thinking, I just thought I'd mention for anyone who is thinking about pivoting and would like to put in a little bit of work, first, which I would recommend. We have a program called the Business Model Canvas. It's a workshop, and we are planning to offer it again in October. We don't have a date yet, so I would highly recommend that if you haven't already signed up for the WebC weekly email, that you do so. You can do so on our website, and that way you will find out when this program is scheduled and be able to register for it. And I think it's a great opportunity for anyone who's thinking of pivoting to put together a sort of a quick business model, business plan for that pivot, so they can figure out if it will be viable or not. It's not, you don't have to go through an entire, 60-hour entrepreneurial training program. You could do that too if you like, but this is a great opportunity to sort of quickly figure out if a pivot is a viable option for you or not.
No, I really like that. And thank you for mentioning it. Like I said, I want us to help each other. And I was just going to say, is anyone in this particular situation where you have an idea, but you want to, but you're busy and you want to know if you should pursue it? Okay, thank you.
Hannah Schindler.
Yes,
Hi.
hi, Hannah.
Hi, how are you?
Great, great.
Well, we started our business in 1985.
Oh, okay, great.
1985, and my husband was working for a pharmaceutical company, and I was teaching. I was, doing a lot of substitute teaching, and in 85, he having also worked he did a lot. He did flea markets. I mean, my husband was he did a lot of things. So from the flea market selling old tools and antiques, we got into new tools, and the business started and it still is going, Tool Factory Outlet. So that was something that was started from a hobby of selling old tools and whatever he could get his hands on into selling all the major brand tools.
Wow. Tool Factory.
So, and here I am now 36 years later. I did lose Arthur about 25 years ago, and I stepped up to the plate and ran the business with my son and a number of very good employees. They're still with me.
Wow. Wow.
So I can relate my story.
Yes, yes. Thank you for sharing that. So to get this straight, you had a hobby. He had a hobby, right?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine.
Oh, good. Great. Yeah. He had a hobby selling at flea markets, and he was, I mean, as I said, Arthur had a number of things he did. He was he was a workaholic. Anyway, from the hobby turned into a business, selling hand and power tools and equipment to the construction industry. In 1985, we're still in Goshen, New York, 36 years later. So, I mean, I can attest to that. A lot of hard work, but, we've also given back to the community. And I was also a business teacher. So we did a lot of marketing. I mean, branding, we knew how to start the business. And now we want to take it to another level. That's something else.
Okay. So you're, even after this 36 years, you're still expanding.
I'm still expanding. However, I am thinking of myself as an exit strategy. I'm 75, and not that I want to retire, but I would like to help other people with start businesses.
Wow.
And so that's my story. Yes, you have an idea, but you need to really think about it. And then when you've thought about it and you've done different things, then you can do it. I mean, you can start a business. And I've been running I'll share this with you. In 1994, I lost my mother, my manager, and my husband in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And I had to run a business, and I did, with good employees. My son, now my daughter-in-law's in the business. But yeah, it's you step up to the plate, and you do get the strength. I did get the strength.
So when we're talking about stories of resilience, I hear a lot here. I hear that you started where your husband was in pharmacy, but then he started, as this is a hobby, you
Yeah.
turned it into a business, and all these years later, you still have the business in Goshen, and you're looking
Yes.
at moving forward as well, even now. And then even through loss, you were still able to be resilient and still have a successful business. And now you want to change or pivot yourself into
Yeah.
helping others form businesses. And we just had that discussion before the break about sponsorship and mentorship. So I feel like there's one on the phone. When it's on the line. So all of you
Thank
that
you.
are out there, I feel like there's one right here who can show you how to run a successful business and still wants to help. So please, I don't know, Mairead, if you will share information on like contact information, but that would be great so we can reach out to Hannah.
Yes, absolutely. If Hannah would like us to do that, we can definitely do that. Rachel, I just want to mention two things. One is that your sound is rather muffled.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, and also to all our participants. We're getting some feedback from somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but maybe if you can just make sure you're muted unless you're the person who's actually speaking, that would be great.
I see everybody's muted now. Do I still sound muffled?
No, you sound better now. Much clearer.
Perfect. Okay.
Great.
I disconnected my speaker. That's so sad. I thought I was being technologically savvy. Okay. Thank you so much. Oh gosh, I'm showing all my slides here. Thank you so much for that, Hannah. And yes, your information will be shared so that that other people who need a business mentor, you have one right on the phone. Like I said, we can help each other. You see it in my slide. Let's help each other. COVID-19 has negatively impacted your business of singing telegrams. It's not a joke. I think this is a viable business and something that could happen. What can you do to recover? You have a business of singing telegrams, but you can't go to people's businesses and houses with COVID to sing. So what can you do during COVID? Where's the resilient people on the phone?
What about a recording? Can you?
Just explain more. Explain more.
It's Hannah again. I don't want to take up the time. I was just thinking, perhaps a recording. I mean, if you could somehow do it virtually, doing it virtually. That's what came to my mind.
Yes, I like it.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to add to that? Thank you. Anyone else want to add to that?
I would actually agree. You have to look at how can you change your business model and still be successful. So just like we're having a Zoom call, you could do a Zoom call. You could do it with the distancing. So actually not necessarily being as close as you normally would, but distancing. I'm seeing a lot of people from a family perspective on individuals' birthdays or special celebrations. They're asking the person to come outside and they're in the street. So I think you just have to think about, how do I change my business model in order to still make my business viable? I'm not very creative, but I would brainstorm with other people to help me with that creativity.
So I really like what I'm hearing. So like you said, virtual for sure. And Zoom has changed the game for a lot of people. I currently live in Westchester, New York, and I get requests from clients that were in different parts of the state and also Connecticut. And my biggest barrier before COVID was where to meet with people. Should I get office space here or conference room space? And everything was not the same as far as caliber. What should I do? But now, because of COVID, I can reach people anywhere. And that is something that is important. So when I think about this, and like I said, I'm hearing some great things. Thank you, Hannah and Myrna, for responding that, virtual for sure. And distance, because maybe I can't come up in your business, but maybe outside, like we all gather outside and do something fun, or maybe your business isn't open. So then we go back to virtual options again. I even wrote down something. I thought about this while you were talking. You could have those virtual cards, right? You know, those cards that you send those e-cards, and they have because music and a nice picture. Well, you could record your voice, figure out how to do a virtual card, something like that. But it doesn't mean that it's over. I remember there was a story about a barber, and he used to do the old-timey haircuts, but they were good haircuts. They were very nice. He had been in business for a long time. And then one of those like supercut type models moved in across the street from him, and they did $5 haircuts. And they took all of their business, because who cared about the old-timey as long as you got it done and it wasn't expensive. So he thought long and hard about how to change his business model and what to do, because he didn't want to go out of business. And he developed a new slogan. It's called "We Fix $5 Haircuts." and he was able to then pivot and be successful. And I love this story. I love it. It just shows you, please, there's another way. And when in doubt, go back to what we discussed and how to pivot. Seek the experts. That's also where your board of directors or your network is going to come in as well, because people are going to, like say you are my network, I reach out to you and say, what can I do? And I would love to hear the ideas of Hannah and Myrna and all of you to say, what can I do to pivot? That's when your network and your foundation are so important, because they're going to give you those ideas on how to get better. And also, for sure, WEDC, look, I need help, because this is what they do. And you know, it's funny, I heard for the first time about this, your program in October. So I'm very excited about it. I'm going to make sure I leave many people there, because I've led people to your 60-hour program starting in the fall. All right, for our third scenario. You want to grow your side hustle to a viable business because your regular job may be in jeopardy. What is your next step? So you got a side hustle, something you love, but your job may be in jeopardy, so you really want to pump that up. Let's hear what you have to say. Malinga, where are you? Okay, Laura, what about you?
So yeah, I can answer this one. Can you hear me? Because I've been having problems with.
No, I hear you perfectly fine. Yes.
Okay, that's good. Because last night I was on a Zoom call and no sound was coming out.
Yeah, understood.
So I'm actually working on a side hustle.
Tell us about it.
So I do work with college students. I have a business. It's called Yafa Activewear. I'm a manufacturer of women's summer clothing.
Spell that, please. Yafa.
Yafa, YAFFA.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing this for 7 years.
Okay.
And one aspect of the business that I'm extremely passionate about, that's my love, is working with college students. I've hosted intern incubators at Yafa for over 5 years, and I have a community, I call them my daughters, of young women who actually I learn more from them than they do from me. But this passion of working with college students has segued into doing e-talks at universities and getting involved with several, actually.
Okay. Wow.
And I'm in the process of developing actually a 7 workshop series that I'm going to be piloting next semester.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say too much because I don't want to jinx it, because I'm really excited about it.
Full support.
This just evolved, as part of what I call social entrepreneurship. I've been searching for a cause within my company that relates to the brand, but also that would come from heart, not just because, I should give money to the Melanoma Association because I have clothing that have UPF 50. That I've been on a big pause about this for many years.
Okay.
I've worked with consultants and marketers. You need to have a social angle for your company, and I just haven't put it out there because I wanted to really feel very excited. So I guess this is a good example. This happened organically, actually. I didn't really think about my next steps. It just evolved. So I guess what I can add to the party here is that when you let things just unfold organically as part of your journey, as opposed to say, okay, next month I'm going to get this hobby into action, I find that things work out much better. So that's sort of my spiritual twist on business.
Okay, very nice.
Let it happen. If it's really in your heart and you're passionate, it will. And the time when to do it will just happen. It's like that old phrase, the student will come to the teacher when the student is ready. The same kind of thing. You will know.
Okay.
You will know when the
Yes.
time is right.
It sounds like too, what you're saying is to keep at it. Don't stop, keep at it. Because when your side hustle, that's one thing I like, and I know you said it without saying it, just to keep doing it, because it sounds like that's what you were doing. You were searching for the cause. You found the cause, but you kept doing it until you could, you know? Thank you for that, Laura. And I love your business. I wrote down your business. I'll be looking that up for sure. I also see an answer too from Miss Jones, M. Jones. Now on a computer, no mic, I would do a business plan and meet with a mentor, WEDC SBA, to get feedback, research my competitors, and learn about networking and marketing the new business. So that's a lot. That's very nice. Like you said, you need to get, like, to me, it sounds like you were saying, like Myrna said earlier, making sure it's viable, a viable business, WEDC SBA, to get feedback, and then do your due diligence for a business plan, researching competitors, learn about networking and marketing the new business. That's why I also like when you all introduce yourselves, and I'd ask Laura, like, tell us your business. What's your business? Because it's nice. I mean, you got customers here, you never know, you have partners here in terms of just network partners, all kinds of things. You have opportunity everywhere you go. So it's nice. I understand what you're saying. You don't want to jinx it, but we still should know just at least the name, right? At least what you're doing. I love it. I love it. Okay. Something else I have here as well. That I wrote down when we were talking, I'm brainstorming too, about time management. Because when you look at the first one, you have the full-time job, you have children. This one, you have a job, but you really want to get to the point where you don't have to do that other job. You want to do your business or your business. What I like is studying how to manage your time properly, because you don't want your job, your passion to become a drain. You want to make sure that it continues to give you passion. I have a lot of passion about coaching. I know it's what I'm supposed to do, but if I don't manage my time properly, then it could become a burden. And then I'm like, forget it. And I don't want to forget my dream. So think about developing your skills of time management, of task management, of project management, whatever it would take to make sure that you're leaving the proper time for your business as well. It's something that I would also advise. Let's look at the last one. You are fresh out of college. Now I love this. You're fresh out of college. Should you become an entrepreneur or get a quote unquote real job? Come on, come on. Especially parents on the phone. Your child comes home and says, I'm going to become an entrepreneur. Anna, you got something? I can't wait.
Well, I'm going to say to people, I think this is a great time to start a business. You know, from chaos comes opportunity. Yeah, I think it's a very good time to start a business. And I remember, I think after 9/11, there were many people starting their own businesses. And so, I mean, if you have a passion, go for it. Because
okay.
I myself have a passion for my business. My husband was very, very passionate. I mean, that was his life. But yes, you can't, I mean, he died, he wasn't quite 52. He was a workaholic 7 days a week. So that's another thing, you know, the stress, you know, the stress of it. I was talking to a competitor the other day. He just had a year ago, had a heart transplant. So, you know, I mean, why bad things happen to good people? You get a little tap on the shoulder or a big tap, and you know what you need to do.
Yes, yes.
But you need to take care of yourself.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you, Hannah. Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate your feedback. Anybody else?
Rachel?
Yeah.
Sorry, just again in the chat, it's, yeah, M. Jones. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name.
It's M.
but mentions, she says, a while ago, I would have said,
Wow.
get a real job. But now I would say, go for it. Being an
Mm.
entrepreneur doesn't limit your wealth accumulation like a 9 to 5. And it's Mel. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Mel. Okay, all right. So things have changed. You're saying it's evolved. Being an entrepreneur doesn't limit your wealth accumulation. Okay, got it. So we have go for it, to go for it. Anybody else?
This is
It's
Myrna
funny.
again.
Go ahead, Myrna.
I would just have to agree. I think there is nothing that they have to lose. They can look for a traditional position while preparing for their new job. And what they may find, especially if they're passionate with what they want to do, is that their new job, their personal entrepreneur job may come to blossom before the economy does. So I would agree with those other ladies to go for it. We're in a different time, and I do believe that more individuals will be in a position to be their own boss in 2022. I think the world will look very, very different.
Ah, okay. So you all are building on evolution, like we're evolving to a different place. I do have a separate message of someone who says, real job, because you want the experience, and job is going to teach you, give you lessons that you would need, and discipline and lessons that you need to be an entrepreneur. Okay, got it. So it sounds, and you know what I like about this, that you're able to put yourself in the position of the fresh out of college, as opposed to the mother who is your child comes home and says, I'm not going to get a job, you know? So I really like that you're able to put yourself in that place. Something else that I wrote down here was, I don't know if you've heard of the book Strengths Finder. I think they put it in one word, Strengths and Finder, but it basically helps you identify the strengths that you possess. And I like it because it talks about, you know, you can learn. Again, I say study yourself, because being an entrepreneur is not easy. I know people paint the picture that you can work when you want, how you want, where you want. Come on, we know that that's not true. If you have a deadline, you have to work. And it sounds like Laura and Hannah are working very hard. I know I've worked very hard, and there's a lot on your plate, and you may deal with situations that are adverse. I know that there's certain advantages to it for sure, which is doing what you love, but it's not easy. So, and you have to have the right skills. Like I was saying before, I knew how to coach, but did I know where to coach and different protocols? No, I didn't. So I needed to go back and get the training and learn how to be a business person. So it's not easy. And then do you do your books? You get someone else to do your books. You know, it's something different. Okay. So I would say learn more about yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, where your passion lies. I always suggest trying. I always suggest making an effort at going after something that brings you passion, but just making sure that this is in fact what you want to do, and for the right reason. Again, not just because you don't want to work for the man or want to do what people tell you to do. Make sure that it comes from a really good place. Any other questions or any other feedback about this particular slide? Okay. All right, we're going to review our best practices for today. We're coming to the end of our presentation. Okay. 1, be open-minded for opportunities. Like we defined on the very first page, chaos defined can just be something out of control, utter confusion, out of control, unplanned for. If we talk about COVID, it's unprecedented, right? And we keep hearing that unprecedented. So what needs to happen is when things happen, when those times come, be open-minded to look for what's the opportunity here. When in doubt, really do your journaling. Talk to people to say, what can I now do? What is my opportunity? I read so many businesses that were started during times of recession and depression, and some were the big people, General Motors, GE, but then there's so many small businesses. I actually started to include it, and I should have included the slide. And sometimes maybe we feel farther away from companies like GM, even though they were still started by a person, right? These big companies were started by one person, one idea. Maybe it's two people, but it's one idea. I always am enamored by people who say they made paper napkin contracts. It was two people at a restaurant or a bar, and they just mapped out something and it turns into something big. So that's a possibility, but we know it also starts from somewhere. I look at people who form small businesses all the time. And one thing that I'm really looking forward to is to see how many businesses were started over the COVID period. You might not hear it now because we're still in it, but say go out a year or two and we talk about the businesses that were started during COVID. Looking forward to that. So be open-minded for opportunities. And the mental, so when I say open-minded, the mental usually comes before the physical. But if it doesn't, and you start something or an opportunity comes, and you may not feel completely mentally prepared, that's when you do that reflecting and studying and reading so that your mind, your mental can keep up, okay? Catch up to it, catch up to it. The next one is to be kind to yourself. It actually opens up your mind. What I learned is when you're beating yourself up, it doesn't help. It actually, to me, and these are my words, it gives you the excuse not to try. Oh my goodness, I failed again. Oh my, today is a bad day. It kind of gives you an excuse. If you wake up saying it's a bad day, it gives you an excuse not to be productive or successful because you're saying it started out a bad day. But be kind to yourself. Oh, that wasn't very good, but you know what? We're going to make the best of this. And again, you're not perfect. So everything's not going to be rosy. It's just what I'm saying is on the overall, because there's going to be days where you say, I just need a day to do nothing. And again, that's very human. But what I'm saying is being kind to yourself and even when you do that, say, I just want a day for me. I just need to take a break today. That's it. Not, oh my goodness, this is the worst day ever. I can't believe I did this. I messed up, so forget it. I'm just going to put the covers over my head. No, speak kind to yourself. Speak kind, feed yourself, feed your mind, feed your emotions, and it will open up your mind because if you think, like we were saying before, I want someone to help me with my business. I deserve to have a strong person that will give me great ideas, that will lead me to progress, and it will open your mind. I will say that I was so incredibly grateful for the 60-hour event or program that WEDC offers, that when I went there, I wanted to soak up every piece of knowledge. I took so many notes. I wanted to soak up what they told me because they had guests that came in that were from all parts of business, marketing, finance, legal, social media, everything. And they would come in and they would lend their expertise to tell me how they did it and what my best practices were to run my business. And I was so incredibly grateful. And did I feel every day like going to class every week? Because it's quite some 60 hours. No, but I said, look at the incredible gift I have been given to be able to have something like this at such a great benefit, a great cost, since, you know, there can be subsidies, everything. So I was extremely happy. And thank you for, and I know, you know, we all have different opinions about government, but I would say just to make that we would get funding for something like this, I'm incredibly grateful. It can change your life. Create a positive network. I cannot stress this enough. I love that that you all took your time out today to join this workshop. I now consider you part of my network because this is what we need to help each other. Thank you for the personal stories, Hannah. Thank you, Laura, that you were able to share with us because that also shows us that you did it. We can do it too, and gives you a support system. I'm, like I said, Mairead, first time meeting you, loved hearing about you, and now look forward to partnering with you. Create a positive network of people who will feed into your progress plan. And for my last one, I would like to ask a few of you to share your best practice, something that helps you stay strong. especially in the area of, in the age of chaos. Miss Doris, I haven't heard from you today. Miss Vernice, you either. Hey, Hannah.
Well, hi.
Hi.
I really enjoyed the session.
Thank
And,
you.
you know, I see that you have a gift.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Oh,
you have a gift. I can tell that.
that's so nice. Got me all
It's a
goosey.
gift. It's a gift.
Thank you.
I
Thank you.
try to practice, acts of kindness.
I like that. Making a note.
That's very important today and always. I mean, that's been my nature always. But in today's world, it's very important to be kind
I love that.
and to help, to reach out and help.
Mhm.
And we're all in this together. We're all
Yeah.
together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that. Thank you, Hannah. Right. And I like that because it's not, like I said before, it's not just about business, right? We are our whole selves, right? And so when we said these others, yeah, be open-minded, be kind to yourself, create a positive network, practice kindness, help others. These are all things that we use, and they also create our strong foundation, and they lead to other opportunities. Anybody else on another best practice?
I'll add one.
Hey, Laura.
I think it's really important, it's self-care. And when I say self-care, I mean mind, body, and spirit. That could be a whole nother session, but
Yes.
that's one of the things that I'm working on is a holistic approach.
Okay.
But
Very-
important. One thing I do personally is I meditate every morning. And if I skip a meditation, it's like I don't beat myself up, but I'm not as clear. I don't have as much clarity and focus.
You notice the difference. Okay. No, that's helpful. So self-care, mind, body, and spirit. It's not just one thing. I like that. Thank you. Myrna, is that you?
This is Myrna. You heard me beeping. I agree with her. I was going to say very similar. As women, we are constantly pouring out and we're constantly giving. And we always have to bring our game face. We always have to come in strong and positive. I work in HR, and so I'm constantly reinforcing and helping confirm. And I agree with Laura that every day I have to build myself up, because as you continue to give, if you don't refuel yourself, then you're going to burn out, or you're going to be lacking. So in order to be holistic, it is about that mindfulness. She meditates. I have prayer every morning, sometimes even in the evening. I run a couple times a week. I exercise a couple times a week. I do sessions like this that are educational. I spend time with like-minded people or individuals who I view as my mentor.
Yes.
So holistic approach to taking care of myself. That self-care is so important.
I like that. Thank you, Myrna. Thank you. So build yourself up, refuel, meditate, pray, exercise, a holistic approach. I like this. It's a theme going on here. I like this. I mean, what I'm getting from you: kindness, helping, self-care, build yourself, refuel. I love this. I love this. It's a theme with all of us, and it lets you know that chaos can be happening all around you. But what are you doing inside? Because that's what's going to build you up. What are you doing for your inside? Thank you. Anybody else want to add to this one? I hope you're all taking notes about what you want to do for yourself. Hannah, yes.
And also, I used to feel I had to do everything. And I've learned the hard way, that I can't do everything, that I need to reach out, that I need to delegate. That's something that's very hard for me because I'd rather do it myself. But we need to take care of ourselves.
Yes, yes.
You
I
know, if
love
we
that.
don't take care of ourselves, the stress will overtake. Take care of
Absolutely.
yourself, delegate, be with positive people, all the things that Myrna said and Laura, all of those are so important.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love the theme. Girl power. Girl power. Okay. So wrapping up for today, what's next for me? All right, so I have a salary negotiation. You can look at my website, changeyourstory.today. I have a salary negotiation workshop. It was a series, so it was series version 1, 2, and now we're in the final series, September 19th. Again, see my website. I'm actually having a Sisterhood to Success program in the fall that I'm planning now, starting October 1st. And that's for just helping some women move forward to success by moving out some of these personal barriers that we have. I also am running a coaching special, one-on-one coaching special from now through the end of the year. It started October 31st, so it's very, very new. I do one-on-one coaching, but I'm running a special because I know that times are a little different now. It's not as usual, business as usual, and everyone's not doing like we used to do, right? There's some uncertainty, so I want to be sensitive to that. And then I have my year view planner, which is available anytime. Like I said, on my website, changeyourstory.today. And it's funny, when I did my changeyourstory.com was taken, but when I went to look for domains and they said, tell me about your business. And they said, well, here's something that's new that came out, it's .today. I absolutely love that because we want to change our story today, right? I love that. For contact us information, I give you my website, and here's my email address, rgatling@changeyourstory.today. And of course, I have WEDC's information here as well. They are invaluable. I always say yes. I always think about things I always say yes to. WEDC can call me anytime. I absolutely love them. They changed my business, changed my life, but really changed my business to make sure that I had the skills that I needed to be successful. They allowed me to change my story. And this is their phone number as well. Final Q&A. Anybody have anything? I'm looking, I see one chat. Oh, okay, yeah. There is Mairead. She said you can contact her directly, mdailydeep@wedcbiz.org. Thank you for putting that in the chat. Oh, thank you, Myrna. Thank you for the compliment. Thank you all for your attention and your help today in the middle of the day, the middle of the week. It's almost Labor Day. So enjoy Labor Day. What is it? Official end of the summer, they say. All right, Mairead, I will hand this back over to you. Thank you, Mel.
Thank you so much, Rachel. That was wonderful. I think
I appreciate it.
you'll all agree. And thank you to all of the participants too. We had some great interaction, and I think that really just makes any program better, and it's good to see everybody participating. So thank you for that. I have a couple of announcements to make. The first thing I'm going to do is actually launch a poll that I would ask you all to participate in. It'll just take a couple of minutes.
Should I close my eyes? I'll walk away.
You know what? You can't see. It comes up as being totally anonymous, so don't worry.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'll still walk away. It's about me. Oh my God.
And I'm sure it's going to be very positive. Is everybody seeing that? Are you able to access the poll?
It's not moving though. It's stuck on
Submit.
and submit. Is it just 1 and 2? Because
It says it's in progress. Oh, I see what you mean. You should be able to scroll down on the right-hand side.
Okay.
builds it out. No, it's like frozen on the screen.
Of course, it would be working for me, who doesn't need to do it.
I just filled out the first 2.
There's 5, there's more. You have to scroll down and fill out all 6.
Mine's not letting me. Maybe it's my computer. Okay.
Perhaps it'll free up for you in a second.
Maybe it's frozen.
So I have a couple of things that I would just like to fill you in on while we do that. The third and final session in this R&R series is next Wednesday at noon. And the title is Bump Up Your Leadership Potential. That the presenter is Lisa Tretler, who is, again, like Rachel, very experienced presenter. She has a lot to offer. She's been involved with WEDC for quite a long time and actually sits on our board now. So we invite you to come and participate in that. And going back to last week, our first session, I know many of you might have missed it because it was still August and people were away, etc. It was recorded and it is available. So that's one of the reasons I put my email address in the chat. So if you would like me to send you a recording of last week's session, just shoot me an email and I will do that. And it was all about self-care, which we were just discussing. So I think many of you would really appreciate and benefit from that. Then moving forward, we have on September 23rd, we have a workshop on the legal aspects of forming a business. So if you're thinking of forming a new business or pivoting into something and wondering whether it should be a separate business from what you already have or how it should be handled legally, that would be a good workshop for you. And also I had mentioned, the Paint Your Business Model Canvas. Please do look out for that in October. And then finally, Rachel has been really plugging our entrepreneurial training workshop, our 60-hour program.
Yay.
Our next one is September 15th. Actually, it's starting in 2 weeks. We are full. We are bursting at the seams. But
Absent people.
if you are interested, please apply. You'll go on a wait list. If anything happens that anyone has to drop out before it starts, we'll contact you off the wait list. Otherwise, the program will be running again in the spring. And if you're on the wait list, you are ahead of the game. It's always been a popular program, but with COVID, I think freeing people's time up and also maybe making a lot of people think the way I think many of you are thinking, that this is a good time to start a new business or pivot. It's more popular than ever at the moment. So I'd definitely recommend, if you would like to do the program, to just sign up now and get on our wait list, even if you may not be able to do it till the spring. And that's it from me. I see that looks like 4 people completed the polling.
I can't say it anymore. You can do it.
Okay, if is anyone who's still with us still struggling with the poll, I could close it out and relaunch it see if that might help anyone. No need? Okay. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Really appreciate you participating and filling in the poll as best you could. And we hope to see you back here soon. And again, email me if you have any questions. And in case you can't see your chat anymore, it's MDALY-DIEP @wedcbiz.org. Rachel, any last words before we?
No, Yeah, you know what? I
Closeout?
was writing down the events. I know I can also go to Wetsy Biz to get the information. I'm so excited about the increase in programs that you're doing, and I really thank you for this opportunity that you've given me today, Mairead.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
thank you so much. And it was a pleasure working with you. I'm sure
as
we
well.
will do many more webinars together.
I hope so. The answer is yes.
All right. Take
Right.
care.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
all.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.